What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got a video here by Modern Dating here. Oh, and she left 3 years ago and now she's demanding some money for herself. Whoa! So let's listen
For
in.
the modification was the fact that I did get let go from my job because of the school schedule.
So at this time, are you currently employed?
No, I am a full-time student. I do take 6 classes. So while the kids are in school, I am a full-time student.
It pains me to say, but if the shoes were reversed, I'd be saying the same thing. Is like, how is it fair that he supports you while you decide, or the children more, while you decide to go get a college degree for the future, when you got a duty support now and not at his expense that you want to go get the degree? And I'd be telling him the same thing if he was here asking child support for you. You got 50-50 split. Why should she pay for you to go to school? I mean, I'm trying to figure out why that would be fair this way.
Okay. I just while we were married, I was a homemaker, so I didn't leave the house. Mr. Acevedo actually locked me out of the house
And why did that happen? Just because he wanted to do it?
because he was upset.
And why was he upset? And isn't it true that that incident arose out of the fact that you had voluntarily left the house, abandoned your husband and your children for a period of time?
This case left me completely speechless. I thought I had seen almost everything, but evidently I was wrong. So they were an ordinary married couple with 3 children, and one morning she left the house and came back a few days later, but her husband didn't let her in. Later he found out that she was with somebody else, and this was the reason they got divorced. Fast forward, 3 years have passed, and now she remarried. But interestingly, she decided to stop working and go to school. So, since she no longer has income and knows that her ex-husband is well off financially, she took him to court for money. She believes that since she used to be a stay-at-home wife 3 years ago when they were married, he should provide the same lifestyle to give her time to study. And what makes this story interesting is that she is a married woman who believes she is entitled to her ex-husband's money. But thankfully, the judge was able to understand that her request made no sense and denied it. Her ex-husband has nothing to do with what she does with her life, so he shouldn't be the one sponsoring her studies.
The reason for the request for the modification was the fact that I did get let go from my job because of the school schedule, for the kids. So being that I do live so far away from the kids to school, they had to let me go because I was doing drop off and pick up and just waiting there in the line. So I did have to be fired from my job. So that was the reason why I had asked for some assistance.
Okay. So the visits had never changed. So you were still doing 1 week on and 1 week off.
So we were getting the kids, me and my husband were getting the kids an extra day. And so they would add up, but I couldn't tell you how many days they added up. And then it went back to being the same.
Why were you getting the kids an extra day?
There was just like stuff that was going on. I believe there was like sickness. I don't know. I don't remember which individual it was, but it was like a few days here and there.
Dang. What the hell? Really? And let's see. And you want to take your ex-husband and you want him to fund your college, university where you remarried? How about he take care of that? He has nothing to do with what you're doing. Really? Oh my God. Let's continue.
So
But
were
the
these
reason
extra days?
modification was not for the visitations. It was more because of the financial, because I did lose my job.
So at this time, are you currently employed?
No, I am a full-time student. I do take 6 classes. So while the kids are in school, I am a full-time student.
Are you still married?
Yes.
Does your husband work?
Yes, he does.
What does he do?
He is an iron worker.
Whoa.
And you don't do like part-time jobs like Uber, DoorDash, something?
No, ma'am.
But why not? Let's get this straight. She is a married woman who decided to stop working and isn't willing to get a part-time job, but still believes that her ex is the one who should give her money.
No kidding.
I will be honest. If this wasn't recorded in that setting, I would believe this is a skit because it makes no sense. What made her think and believe that this was normal? Expecting someone who divorced you 3 years ago to still be financially responsible for you is insane. I wonder how this conversation between her and her current husband was. How did they concluded that her ex-husband should be responsible for this when they are both adult who should...
And what come here has to be dragged to court. Wow. I thought I'd seen everything. Dang, I haven't seen anything yet. And she's being delusional, and she's married to her current husband. Why doesn't he pay for it? Why does he need to go back to the ex? Really? Why does she need to do that? It's beyond. Wow.
take care of their own business.
How close are you to graduating?
I still have 3 years.
Oh, God.
And you can't do part-time schooling?
Part-time schooling, no. Because every time I try to look for a job, everybody's like, well, you have to either be here early in the morning or you have to be here like really late. And my husband's commute, it would leave the children unattended.
And have you talked to Mr. Acevedo about maybe taking them extra in that case?
We have not.
Wow.
Right. And then your schooling doesn't offer online classes?
They offer only certain online classes, but they're not with the degree plan that I have.
Once again, this is her problem,
Yeah.
and she and her current husband should find a solution for it.
No kidding.
Why does the man who divorced her 3 years ago have to do with this? Her ex-husband has nothing to do with the fact that she decided to go back to school, or with the degree plan she chose. If her school schedule is making it harder for her to get a job to support herself, she either changes the course or find other solution, because place this weight on her ex-husband isn't an option. She is acting as if everything is going against her, leaving her with no options but to request financial support from her ex. But this is not how things work. I worked full-time and went to school full-time as a single mother, and the father did nothing. It's definitely doable.
Yeah.
They just want and want. You are not his responsibility anymore. What don't you understand?
No kidding.
Usually, once the ex is legally remarried, nothing changes except child support, at least in some states. If it's 50-50 custody, neither should give each other any money.
No kidding.
Why do women think after a divorce they still should be given money? Why? I don't understand. 50-50 custody and she's looking for child support. Why will she want his money?
And you say because you had to take the children to school or pick them up, that caused you to be fired.
Correct.
Okay. And did they monitor you when you were online doing this work?
Correct.
Now, since they fired you and you decided to go back to school, and you have already testified that there's no reasonable, in your opinion, no reasonable part-time job you could have to supplement your income.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. And you also claim that Mr. Acevedo, you want sort of protection against him because of an incident that happened some years before that we got the divorce. And isn't it true that that incident arose out of the fact that you had voluntarily left the house, abandoned your husband and your children for a period of time, and then suddenly tried to come back and get into the house, which caused the problem? Isn't that?
That is incorrect.
And what is correct?
Yeah.
So I was not locked out of the house. I was actually forced out of the house. There was a police officer that came and did make a report that day. And
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm not talking about what happened when the police officer came. I'm talking about what caused the incident to occur to begin with. Had you
Yeah.
voluntarily?
so that incident that did occur, that had nothing to do with, we were already separated for 2 years, it might have been. And the incident happened because I was a minute late dropping off our daughter. It was her birthday. I had picked her up and I took her somewhere to go and eat, and I was a minute late, and he got upset about that.
Okay, when you left the house, how did you leave? You're trying to tell me that Mr. Acevedo forced you to leave the house?
Correct.
And why did he do that?
Yeah.
That was not the same incident that we're speaking of. So when I did,
No, I'm not speaking
Yeah.
about the same incident. I'm saying when you left the house, whether it was 2 years before, 2 years after, why did you leave?
I didn't leave the house. Mr. Acevedo actually locked me out of the house
And why
and did
you
not
do
allow me
that?
to get anything, did not allow anything like that.
Okay. And why did that happen? Just because he wanted to do it?
Because he was upset.
And why was he upset?
I couldn't tell you why he was upset.
Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
She did her best to avoid the question he asked about the reason her ex
Yeah.
didn't allow her to enter the house. She decided to talk about the birthday, and then she spoke about the day she was 1 minute late. Those weren't the answers to the question he asked, and she knew it. At this point, she was trying to be smart about it. She understood his question from the start, but it was all about avoiding giving the correct answer. The best part was when she admitted that she wasn't allowed to enter the house because he was upset.
Yeah, because you were such a cheating. Oh, Jesus. Well, let's continue.
However, she claims that she doesn't know why he wanted her nowhere near him. Did she really expect the judge to believe that she had no idea why her ex-husband was upset? Unless something really serious happened, no man would block his wife from entering the house she used to
No
live in.
kidding.
So by saying in court that she doesn't know why he was upset, it says a lot about her. This
Yeah.
level of dishonesty won't help her case.
No,
Were
it
you having an
doesn't.
adulterous relationship?
Oh.
I was not.
You were not.
No, I was not.
Yeah, right.
And so now, Mr. Acevedo and you have been involved with a 50-50 sharing of child custody. And Mr. Acevedo makes sufficient money to support these children much better than you. And he is now got a budget that really doesn't leave him any spare money.
Mhm.
And now you think it's fair that you should be able to come in here because you lost your job, whether it was because of the kids going to school, which we have to take your word for, or not. And now you think it's fair that he should somehow give you money to help you support these kids.
This is where her request makes no sense.
Yeah.
They are sharing 50-50 custody, but for some reason, she thinks it's fair to get some money from him. Somehow she believes that since they share 3 children, she is also part of his responsibility. But soon she will realize that having a child with someone doesn't give you the right to their money, especially when she already remarried. As an adult, she needs to find solutions for her own issues, instead of trying to pass them on to a person who has nothing to do with it. The fact that he is better off financially has nothing to do with what she has going
No
on in her
kidding.
household with her new husband. They will have to solve their financial problems on their own. I don't even know how this request was strong enough to have a case around it when they are sharing 50-50 custody. As a parent with this custody agreement, she should place herself in a position to support herself and their children when they are with her, instead of asking their father to give her money for it when he also has his responsibilities. But why isn't her current husband funding her studies?
That's
What is
I'm
he doing
saying.
there? Since both agreed that she should stop working, he should come up with a solution for her lack of income. She provided free childcare to him for years, and that prevented her from gaining job experience or having any kind of career. Honestly, she should be allowed to do a 1 or 2 year program. This is 3 years after their divorce when she is asking for this. And she is remarried as well. No way. Go on, girl, leave that man alone. Every parent figures out how to juggle kids, jobs, and education without getting fired. She makes nothing but excuses. She divorced him and still wants him to support her.
Yeah.
Welcome to adulthood. You make your own decisions, and you take on the responsibility. Lesson learned. Don't cheat. If you like our video and would like to support us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It will help a lot.
Sustained.
Okay, repeat the question. I'm sorry.
The question was, the judge heard the testimony of all the parties, and the
No
judge heard the
kidding.
testimony of the amicus attorney. And the amicus attorney, when we made closing arguments, stated that she believed that what the best interest of the children was a 50-50 custody and no child support. The judge took that recommendation along with the rest of the evidence, and she granted a final decree of divorce based on that custody issue. Is that correct?
I do recall that, yes, the amicus did say that.
If that is the case, why are you taking him to court for financial support? If they were told the best solution would be 50-50 custody and no child support, why are they in court talking about his money? I think she is doing this because she knows he is doing better, but this is not how things work. Her chances to enjoy the lifestyle he provided were gone 3 years ago,
Yep.
and this is something she is struggling to come to terms with. Just because he has the money, it doesn't mean that he has to give it. She really thought if she stopped working, he would be obliged to support her financially. But I don't know where she got this information from. Someone lied to her.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here going, whoa, what the hell? This woman is so delusional, and you're remarried. It's not his responsibility. It's your current husband's responsibility to take care of what you need. Why the hell are you bugging your ex-husband? It's his responsibility is done 3 years ago. Wow.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, let me go next to you, Ms. Chesers. Technically, you're your own lawyer, so you kind of get the stand and get to tell me whatever else you need to tell me that hasn't been asked strictly related to the issues before the court. So anything else you want to say, ma'am?
I did write a little statement, if you would allow me
Oh,
to
God.
read it.
Really?
Well, that's your testimony. Is there any objection, Mr. Mangine? I assume not.
No, I'm not going to object. We don't have a jury present,
We
so
want-
it's.
Yeah, I'm going to give some
Go on.
latitude since she's not a lawyer and she's trying to get her testimony in. So yeah, you can read your statement.
I put, Your Honor, I am writing this letter to request support for my children. I'm a full-time student with previous work with a full-time work. Unfortunately, due to location of the children's school and difficulty of balancing work and school schedule, I was let go of my job to prioritize my children's education and well-being. As a full-time student, my time is divided between attending classes, studying, and taking care of my children. While I'm grateful for the opportunity to further my education, it also comes with a set of challenges, one of them being financial strain. I rely on scholarships, loans, and to cover most of my children's expenses. However, the source of income is not always sufficient to meet their needs.
Oh, God.
I have always been a responsible parent and have provided for my children for the best of my abilities. However, with the loss of my job, I am struggling to make ends meet and provide for my children's basic needs. I believe it is in the best interest of the children to receive child support from the other parent. Sincerely, Desiree Chesser.
So did she just take herself out of the equation when it comes to supporting her children financially? Why would you do something you know will impact your ability to provide?
And I knew like single mothers in the past that were going to junior college, and yeah, they made it work, and I'm sitting here going, what the hell? Like, this lady has that entitlement. Oh, 3 years has passed. Why don't you still, again, as I'm sounding like a broken record, ask your current husband to provide support? Stop bringing this man to court, Jesus.
For yourself and your kids. She is clearly telling them that she isn't willing to contribute for the next 3 years. And this is the sad part of this case. As a parent, it was down to her to make the right decision. There is nothing wrong with wanting to further your education, but it can't be on the back of another person who divorced you 3 years ago.
Yes.
This is what she didn't understand.
Mm.
She wrote a nice letter, and it was really touching. But at the same time, it shows that she didn't think about her children when she decided to start this course. And this is where the disconnect comes from.
Mm-hmm.
If she had them in mind, she would have found another program that would facilitate her ability to keep her job, or at least work part-time. She's so wrong to keep wanting him to support her like when they were married. Too many women want this. It needs to stop.
Yes.
It's not his responsibility to take care of you. You are remarried. I know several moms that go to school full-time and have a job.
Yes.
Don't they say women don't need a man? Yes, he paid for your life till you decided you wanted out. So leave and support yourself.
Yep.
She divorced him and expected a free ride because he makes more. You chose the marriage and the divorce.
The audacity of
Someone
some of
doesn't
these
want to
women.
work. I bet when she loses her case, she gets a job.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Ms. Coates, did you want to call Mr. Acevedo or do you want defer to Mr. Menchie?
Yes, I'll call Mr. Acevedo, please. Would you state your full name for the court, please?
Marco Adam Acevedo.
And in the 3 years that you've all been divorced, you've maintained a 50-50 custody relationship, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you provide, now, do you own a house?
Yes, sir.
The other thing that I want to bring out is, let's talk about that incident. And I don't want to open a dirty wound and go on for hours, but could you briefly describe the reason that
Yeah, I'm curious.
Miss Chesser says that you locked her out of the house?
She had committed adultery. She was basically living with another individual, had abandoned us, myself and the children. And that's why I didn't allow her to come back. And she was basically trying to force her way in the house, you know, being erratic. And I was just looking out for the safety of my children,
Yeah.
myself, my home.
It pains me to say, but if the shoes were reversed, I'd be saying the same thing. Is like, how is it fair that he supports you while you decide, or the children more, while you decide to go get a college degree for the future, when you got to duty support now and not at his expense that you want to go get the degree? And I'd be telling him the same thing if he was here asking child support for you.
Yeah.
You got 50-50 split. Why should she pay for you to go to?
Yeah, if it was the other way around, he would be like laughed at and all this. But no, he, as a man, he is doing what he's supposed to do. And yeah, and why did you come? You, as we all assumed, you're a cheating, you know what? A cheating whore. Jesus.
The school. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why that would be fair this way.
Okay. I just, while we were married, I was a homemaker. So he was the one that provided for us, and I didn't do anything else.
And who screwed
She
it
said
up?
it perfectly while they were married. He is no longer your husband, so that subject shouldn't be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Why was she still talking about the time she was living with him? That was 3 years ago, and the last time I
over.
checked, she was the one who decided to find someone else. Maybe things didn't work out as she envisioned, but it's not his problem. You don't leave and expect to take your ex's lifestyle with you. This is one of those cases where she found out the grass wasn't as green as she expected, and now she took him to court.
Wow.
It was interesting that she mentioned she was a homemaker. Maybe she believed since he created the environment where she could be a stay-at-home wife while they were together, she was still entitled to it because she is the mother of his children. I really don't know what she was thinking. This is like a man who left his partner and then came back 3 years later, asking her to cook for him because she used to do it when they were together. I know it sounds abnormal, but it's similar to her request.
Yeah.
Soon she will understand the money and the lifestyle are gone, and now all she needs to do is get used to her new reality.
Yep.
Things will get easier when she accepts that he is no longer responsible for her lifestyle.
Oh, and not at his expense that you want to go get the degree. And I'd be telling him the same thing if he was here asking child support for you.
Yeah.
You got 50-50 split. Why should she pay for you to go to school?
No
I mean, I'm trying to figure out why that would be
kidding.
fair this way.
Wow.
In the end, the judge denied her request.
Damn right.
Fortunately, justice prevailed, and
Yes.
he was able to get out of this situation without having to empty his bank account. And now she has the option to get another job or find another course that will give her the opportunity to work. This experience made her understand that she is already an adult and needs to be responsible for the decisions she makes. You can't stop working counting on another person to take care of your responsibilities. So because she didn't have to work, she expects to still not have to work. Here comes the tears.
Yep.
Judge should tell her,
tears.
I will allow dad to pay. However, when you get your degree, you got to pay it back with interest. I bet then she would back off. She is sad that he has a house and is happier without her. I can tell by the judge's face she's trying to figure out a way to get her paid. It never fails. I hope this outcome is fair. My question is, why is she crying? This is all for today's video, and we hope you like it. Make sure you check our channel tomorrow for another great content.
Damn. Yeah, Jesus. I thought I saw it all, but man, the audacity of this, ex-wife, and she is married to one. Why doesn't he fund the degree? He's the one married to her, not the guy 3 years ago. You screwed that up when you went and found another dude. So yeah, and shout out to modern dating here. All right, so if any of you enjoyed this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribing, comment, and wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.